Independent Showcase Season 2, Episode 4. Probably the biggest episode, no pun
The
intended.
tallest episode.
What's that?
The tallest episode.
Tallest episode. Yeah, let's get that right. You probably people that can hear on or see on YouTube will know who I'm talking about. People that on Spotify will don't know. It is Mr. Tall Tom Mercer himself. Although I've got a bone to pick with you.
You got
It's
a bone to pick with me.
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah,
right, relax, relax. Go on.
yeah. So he's called. I've seen it as Tall Tom. I've seen it as Tom Mercer, and in RCWA it was Tom Merson.
Yeah,
What's going on?
bit of identity crisis, to be fair. So at the moment, I'm Tall Tom, Big Daddy Tall, which is
Yeah.
my rap master esque gimmick.
Right.
My the Tall Tower, which
Yeah.
is the Oliver's Army War style of
Yeah.
stuff. And then we've got Tom Mercer slash Merson, where we can't pick between which one it is apparently because people don't know how to make graphics properly or use autocorrect or check with the talent of what they want to be called. But that's neither here or there. But as it stands, as I'm going forward,
Mhm.
um, it might be the end of Tall Tom as
Right.
Tall Tom, and it may just be Tom Mercer going forward.
Okay.
Mercer.
There we go. Well, first off, welcome because I haven't even welcomed you to the show. I had a little spiel to start with, but I was
That's fine.
thinking about it. No, someone that's actually making waves in the scene right now, and we'll get into about the tall factor in a minute. Or you talking about names. In some cases, you're called Big Bill. In some facts.
Listen, I'm not going to name names here, but someone else who does another podcast, bless his little cotton socks, couldn't get my name right and called me Big Bill. I mean, I see the resemblance, but come on. If you're going to talk about someone on the show, you should get the name right.
Well, you're not going to say it, but I am Harry and the Wrestling Life UK podcast, Wrestling Life for You UK podcast. His name's Tom, not Bill, in this case. But first things first, how tall actually are you?
Um, right. I am 6'6". I am 6'6". That's no gimmick. That's nothing. I am
That's
six
no
foot
good.
six,
Mm.
and since I've been wrestling, I've been the tallest person in the ring every single time,
Yeah.
except for one instance now.
Oh, and where was that?
This was at Pro Wrestling East show in Cambridge, and they bring a lot of talent down from everywhere. And they had a talent. I'm not too sure where he's based, but I know he's a bit further north.
Mm.
And his name was Big T.
Right.
Now this guy, this is why the tall Tom's got to go. I'm not the tall guy anymore. 6'8", this guy was, and I felt like, Rey Mysterio in there with him. So I said to him, he said, next time I come down south, you better not be tall Tom anymore. I said, brother, you can have it. You can be Big T, no problem at all. You can have that.
It's quite interesting though, because we wanted to get on a little bit about the personas and people's kind of perception when people see the word tall, they instantly think like, oh, he's just a big guy. But what I've noticed with you, especially because I've seen you wrestle now on quite a few occasions, so Wrestle Ignite, RCWA, Wrestle Force. There's more to you than meets the eye. You're actually quite quick in the ring as well. I saw the quickness side. You've got the power. But is that still a thing now in Brit Wrestling, or not in just Brit Wrestling, in wrestling in general, where because you're tall, everyone just thinks you're a one-trick pony?
I think like maybe a couple of years ago, so maybe even a couple of decades ago. So now, yeah, that is the case. Like you see a tall guy, you see a big guy, you think that's it, that's who he's going to be. But
Mm.
I think in this case, especially in the Brit wrestling, you sort of have to adapt to
Mm.
everyone else, and you sort of have to like stand out as well. So just because I'm a tall guy, doesn't mean I can't do a lot of the stuff that the other boys can do because like you say, I can do it all, like not just the tool, not just the power, but the speed. I appreciate you bringing that up because it shows that you actually watch me, which is
Yeah.
a good start. But no, yeah, no, it's just I do want to stand out. I do like to show off. I've got a bit of speed about me, and like you say, I just don't want to be that one trick don't pony kind of person. Like, oh, he's only there because he's the tall one, you know.
Mm.
But it
Yeah, I
helps.
think that. I
I hope
think
it does
that
help.
I have. I mean, obviously, part of me watches because obviously I've got the championship, as you know, at Ignite, and I always have to look around and look for talent for that particular thing. But it is weird because when I saw you initially, that's the first thing was like, oh yeah, he's a big guy. That was it. And then I think it was even in Wrestle Force the first time I'd seen you at Ignite a couple of times, but you'd literally just come in and a bit like a lackey to Taylor. We'll
Oh,
get
yeah, lackey. Well, relax.
well, helpful to Taylor. Let's
Lackey.
just lackey,
You brought
helpful.
me in. I'm a mercenary. You brought me in
Brought
to
you
deal
in.
with his problem, and now look where he is.
Look where he is.
Hasn't lost a match since,
And he's also got the briefcase.
and he has the briefcase, and he can be champion whenever he wants.
He could be. I want to talk about that in a minute, actually, because you're in a I know you're going into the breakout and ignite. I want to get into that in a minute. But anyway, the first thing I thought, oh yeah, just a big guy. Someone's going to come in and cause damage, do damage, and you do. Then I saw you wrestle. I can't remember who it was at WrestleForce, but it was local. I think it was in Pitsea, in Essex.
I remember this one.
You remember? Because the
Yeah.
first thing you said to me on the time was, "What are you doing here?"
Yes, I did. I do remember saying that. What are you doing
And I
here?
saw you wrestle there, and I was like, "Wow!" Because like again, it was a speed. You moved around the ring, and it was like, wow, he's got some quickness about him. Yes, he can do the power, which is obvious, but there were so many different elements to your game, and it was quite interesting. So I do remember, and a story. This goes back many, many years with the Undertaker, and I'm sure it was Big Show or something like that. And he was like, he saw him do a Hurricane Rana or something like that, and he went, "If you ever do that again, I'm going to kill you." Because you're like, because and it was going back to that whole point about the one
Yeah,
trick pony. You're a big guy, you shouldn't be doing that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
has perception now, and you mentioned it there, Brit Rest, you've got to adapt. Everyone they kind of all wrestle the strong style way, which I don't particularly like that. I do prefer the variety in wrestling, but that is what it is. But do you think that it has changed where just because you're a big guy, yes, you utilize it, but you've got to be able to move around a bit because actually, even wrestlers themselves in their physical stances have all kind of changed to be able to do these 30
Mm.
odd minute matches that you see in Brit Rest now. So it's more than just I've got to be a big guy, but I've got to have the stamina, I've got to have the quickness, and I've got to be able to have that because it makes me different from everybody else.
Yeah, well, the thing is with me, like, yeah, I'm the tallest, one of the tallest. Don't get
Mm.
me wrong, but there are guys that outmuscle me. There are
Yeah.
people I've been in the ring with where I have to adapt, where my height and my strength isn't the winning
Yeah.
factor here, and that's where I can play the trump card and be like, I've got a little bit something else that you're not expecting, and hopefully they don't know me well enough that I can pull it off. But um, yeah.
I think there's a lot more to you. I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen the best of you yet, and that's not because you tower over me at Ignite either. I don't think I've seen the best of you, but I do want to bring something up because you are going into the breakout at Ignite.
Mm.
It's something that the match is to be announced that hasn't been announced yet. I believe it's a triple threat, but I don't know
Mhm.
who the guys are. Um, but now we'll mention Taylor because he's got the briefcase. Time is running out on that briefcase. He's got two shows to either cash it in. Well, he's going to have to cash it in. He's got it for until July. July is the last date because he won it in July, but Buckle Up last year. So potentially he's Ignite champion. Potentially. Come November. Come November, you could win the breakout. You know where
Listen,
I'm
I
going with
know
this.
where you're going with this, and I don't want you to start this.
I'm not going to start it because I'm going to mention something else. You could end Ignite in November with the new rebellion, with Taylor holding up one belt and you going for my championship and
That's
holding up.
exactly what I
So
was going
you
to
thought
say.
I was going to go the other way and
Oh,
say you're
I
going
was watching
to.
you there, trying to start animosity between us already. I've only been there and had one match with him,
Yeah.
tagging, and now
Yep.
you're trying to stir some stuff. That's exactly it. There's always another championship to go for, and it's got your. Unfortunately, it's got your branding on it. So we'll have to see.
If you do win the breakout and you do decide to cash it in on my championship, as long as you win it, I don't really care who's the champion. It's to who we put you in there with that makes the difference. But anyway, going back to you, and no, see, I wasn't trying to cause trouble, but you could cash it in on Taylor or whoever the champion is at that time. If Taylor is indeed the champion, who knows? But anyway, going back to you and your training, etc. And I asked this to all the people in the Independent Showcase. Was there a specific moment during training where it just clicked and you thought, actually, for me thinking I want to do this to I can do this?
I, I always felt like I could do it when but
Mm,
not because of any ego reasons or anything like
yeah,
that. Just I always thought my height's going to help me get in as much as it can because I had it in the past where um, I've been put in. This is exactly what happened. I've been put into a situation, especially at Ignite, where
mm,
my height has got me in the door, and now it's up to my ability to keep me there.
yeah.
So I always thought, yeah, people are going to look at me and go, wow, that guy's so tall, blah, blah, blah. But then with the training and stuff, I don't think it was a specific, I think it might have been after training where I might have had one or two matches where I felt, you know what, like, yeah, this can be this can be a thing going forward, and I can actually do some damage in this business. One of them ones.
I think you can. I think there's definitely there about you, and the more I see of you, the more I think, yeah, there's definitely something there, and that was Ignite obviously a couple of weeks ago at Ignite when I saw it properly for the first real time because you spent the majority of the time in the ring during that match. I think that was a difference. It was like I'd seen you in the one-on-one matches, but it was the time where you were tagging with Taylor against the Bryants, and you did spend a majority of that time in that ring. I mean, Taylor was on the outside. It was his briefcase obviously on the line, so he wanted to make sure if there was anything going wrong, he could come in and break it up as
No,
such. But
that's not
nothing.
what it is at all. It
No,
was
no.
him using his lackey, as you said, to deal with the Bryants. The briefcase was on the line, and this is why he brought me in. He brought me in so he could win that. He brought me in so he could keep that, and now it stays with him because of me.
Ah, well, you done the job. I mean, that double choke slam was a killer on the
Yeah,
Bryants that you done. Killed them because every time they would get momentum, you were just hitting that big move and bomb. That was it. Momentum was over, right?
that's all you have to do with those
But
Bryants. Just swat them down like flies when they come at you.
swat them down like well you did to be fair. But going back to maybe even before wrestling, what was the point when I've kind of mentioned when you thought you'd got it, but what was the point with you when you were like, I want to at least give it a go? Was there a specific match or a moment, a wrestling thing that
Um,
clicked it?
so my journey with wrestling's a bit strange. So as a kid, all
Mm.
the time watching it, all the time, everything I did, I love wrestling. Because my uncles were into it, they got me into it. They had the little Hasbro like 1990s figures with the
Yep.
Undertaker that would barely move and stuff like that. And I had the collection of that. They had games on the like Sega Mega Drive. That's
Yep.
before my time. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. I love wrestling. I bet that's your time, right?
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
And then friends at school, etc. But I think when I went to secondary school, it sort of like just dropped off. It dropped
Mm.
off, and I sort of kept up with it, and I didn't really know what was going on, and I missed quite a chunk of important content. And it wasn't until I want to say 2013, 2014.
Yep.
I think it was like the end of Punk's reign or something like
Right.
that. 2013, then I was going to say something like that, or maybe early 2014, leading up to WrestleMania 29 is when I got back into it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this stuff's pretty good. Like, the wrestling's good again. I think getting there, and then I couldn't tell you specifically what it was, but I think off the top of my head, watching something like the streak end
Mm.
gave me an emotion. What I thought, this is such a powerful thing that a piece of media can do, and it's not like any other piece of media can give you
Yeah.
that like realization of what just happened, right? You
Yeah.
can't explain the streak unless you're a wrestling fan and you
Yeah.
know what it means and stuff like that. And when that happened, and when it finished, and I like processed it, I was like, if I could do anything like that and give someone the emotion that I felt there, like even the fraction of the emotion that I felt there, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do it, and the only way you can do that is through professional wrestling.
Mm.
So I think that's the ticking point. Was like, I want to do this. I want to give people the emotion that I feel while I watch wrestling, and that's what my aim is.
Yeah, and that moment in particular, that for me, and it's for some my WrestleMania ended at that moment
Really,
because I don't feel that it doesn't feel as special anymore
yeah,
now because it was always like, yep, I get that match is great, and you can kind of get the idea of who's going to win already before the match is, but you're always
yeah,
like, who's Undertaker got?
yeah.
That was my thing.
It's always yeah. They're cool. That title match is cool, or the Rumble winner's cool. But then yeah, it's always that. It's like, but
Who is it?
who is it against the Undertaker? Yeah.
In your opinion, was it, I mean, and this is going off on a tangent a little bit, was the right decision made? I mean, Undertaker's now come back out and said, actually, probably would have been better if Roman had done this. Was it right or was it right at the time for
I think
Brock?
it was right at the time.
Mm.
I think that's my personal opinion. I think it was such a shock, and it was such a shake in the system of the WWE. I think it was a great call. I think it was a really good call. Even looking back at it now, I'm thinking, a lot of people probably disagree. I bet you probably disagree, right? You didn't want to see it go, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
I think at the time it was just And I think, do you know what I think? I think he should have been done from there. I don't think we should have seen him
No, I
again.
agree with that bit. No, I do agree. My thing was if the streak has ended, he needed to be finished at that point.
Yeah,
I obviously got concussed during the match quite early, I think, from what he's saying. He doesn't even remember, I don't think,
yeah,
that whole match.
yeah,
No, my opinion was don't mind the streak ending, but wrong person. But I get the whole thing. It made Brock this big animal, and I think even he talked about with match with John Cena, and Brock was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to come in and suplex you and win," and Cena was like, "Yeah, because you've done the streak. If you now have a 50-50 with me,
no,
streak's nothing."
no, exactly that.
So, but I think, yeah, I think Roman would have been the right. I think Roman's the right. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, right? It's easy for us to sit here now and go, yeah, that was what should have happened, but it
Yeah,
didn't.
exactly, exactly.
But talking about that, we're going to sidetrack away from you for a minute, as such as the wrestler, and talk about more stuff about you and questions about wrestling that I wanted to answer. Now, full disclosure, I had given you these questions before we went on, just because sometimes there can be a lot of thinking that you have to do during these because it's not always easy to think of these. And
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really remember the questions, but we'll move.
it stumps a lot of people anyway. But the first one, and I think when I said this to you, you said it was going to be the easy one, so we'll get it out of the way.
One.
You could debut at any pay-per-view, not necessarily a year or anything like just the pay-per-view. What one would it be and why?
It's such a boring answer, but it's such an obvious answer. It's the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Why?
everyone
Why
has said
else?
that. Yeah.
Why else would you want to debut at any other pay per view? We're going to do turn up at Bad Blood and do what? Who cares? Like you want to come out in the Rumble when the countdown comes down and you come out and it's like, who's this guy? Or if they know who you are, oh my god, it's this guy. It's just
Mm.
surprise entrance, Royal Rumble. Don't care what number, get me in there. That's all it is. Doesn't matter.
Everyone I've asked that question has said exactly the same thing.
How can you not?
But you know what I think about it, and I agree with that, and I think Rumble's my favorite pay-per-view anyway. But I
Agreed.
always say it's kind of like the death position to debut in because if they haven't got a case in point, right, was Naomi a couple of years last year maybe returned back from TNA, come back to WWE. She done that, and it was like they had nothing. She was
Yeah,
nothing at
but
all.
then look at Styles. What Styles
And
did.
there's you got the other stretch of that, haven't you? The
You
AJ
know.
Styleses and people like that. So you do have it both ways. But yeah, Rumble's good for me. I love it. It's the pay-per-view that I need to go and watch live. I've
Yeah,
not seen I've seen it 5 or 6 Manias live, but I haven't gone to Rumble. Rumble's the one I need.
yeah,
Hopefully the heart can take the tourney. That's the that's the key. Letting the doctors give me the insurance to go and
yeah,
say,
yeah.
yeah, you won't have heart failure on this plane. You can go and travel the 8 mile, the 8 hours by air and go and see it. So hopefully, who knows? Maybe.
I mean, I've had the fortunate position to be at a Royal Rumble
What?
myself. Yeah, Houston, which was the Edge return,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Drew's win. I
yeah,
was
yeah,
at.
yeah.
I was we me and my now wife, but just girlfriend at the time, um, we're just looking at holidays to do, and she's big on like NASA and stuff like
Oh,
science,
okay.
and then we combined the two. You know, Houston, we have a problem. So we did the whole NASA thing and finished off with a Rumble. So it was great little holiday.
That's got to be. I've got to try and sneak that one in somehow. The way you've done that, that is a great idea. But it means having to do Disney. Mm.
Uh,
I can't go on any rides, so but it could be doing something like that. Yeah, that might be a way to get in. And
yeah, you
oh, a
just got to
great
sneak.
one. So you were there when Edge come back for after 9 years. Now Edge was one of my. If you know, I've got the Brood kind of tattoo there. I've got the
Yeah, yeah,
rated R on my shoulder. Well, not the rated R. I've got the star with the women over it on
right.
my shoulder. Edge was one of my absolute idols, and I got quite emotional watching it. And it was like on my phone at the time on like the WWE network. Being there and hearing like you said the big surprise in this case it was Metalingus music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What was that feeling like there live?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. The only reason I was there, I was hoping you'd be there. We had that, we had that like
Yeah,
tease. We thought you
yeah,
might be there. And I was
yeah,
like you say, one of my probably my all-time favorite guy.
yeah.
It's very hard. There's a few. I can't say that top three. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's when that happened, it was more relief than anything. I was like, oh my god, thank God I didn't waste all this money coming out here. It's like, he's coming out. But no, it was incredible. I've never heard anything as loud as that, as people screaming there. It's
Funny that because the one that I always go to, the fortunate one I had was when Brock come back. The third that
oh wow.
I was in Miami,
Oh,
WrestleMania, and there was rumors.
that's a that's a big one as well, though. That is a big one.
I'm glad. I'm talking about. I've had the privilege of seeing The Rock wrestle live and all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff, but
yeah.
that Raw was in the. I think it was the. I would say the US Airways Arena. I think it was something like that. And I would never forget that moment. She's sitting there and Cena's talking and he's asking The Rock to come out, and you're expecting The Rock, obviously, to do the old embrace and all that shit that you was expecting. That music and that place went bananas. I've never seen. I was up. I was doing the trying to do the Brock dance. You know the thing that he does when he comes out. Everyone was going crazy. I've never heard a reaction like that since that day. It was just.
Yeah, yeah.
But Edge one for me would have been very very close for me. I'd have been out there as well. That would have been that's an incredible moment. But. Talking of wrestling theme songs, what is your and this kind of changes for everybody, I think, depending on what they're doing. What's like your top three wrestling themes?
Number three, Metalingus.
Glad you said it.
No doubt. Yeah, number three. Some people higher. A lot of people. I bet you've had people probably say it's one of their favorites. It's
Yeah.
probably quite a common one.
Yep.
But for me, yeah, Metalingus number three. Number two is I think it's Slow Chemical.
Oh,
Kane
yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Mhm.
the singing and that sort of mate, that one is what like that. Even though it might have been the best era of him, but when he come out and he had the
Oh, I don't
towel,
know.
he was bald, and
I
that
like
one.
that. I
That
like
was
that.
my, that theme was just it's just unreal. And number one is I Walk Alone.
Batista. Okay. Yeah,
Batista.
yeah, yeah.
That's
That is a
my
great one.
that is my favorite theme of all time. I don't care where I am. I ever hear it, I'm there just going. Doesn't
I
matter. Doesn't
I
matter.
remember being on a SmackDown show and he was out there and I was near the front as they walk out and I've looked and they've set the pyro up literally opposite. If I could literally, I was here, the pyro was there. And I like fuck because I've been sparked by the SmackDown one. Kane's used to shit me up every time because you never used
Because
to
you
see
wouldn't know it's coming. It's just
exactly
out of
that.
nowhere.
I knew it was coming because it was
Uh,
right next to me, but it was right next to me, which was the problem. And he's gone like that, and I was like, "Fuck, Jesus Christ!" It was like just exploded all over. But that was great. I like that. Do you know we had the guy is another wrestler called Jason Joshua on, and he said that his favorite music was Mick Foley's. I know it's weird. It's mad, isn't it? The crash, you know.
listen, I'm not here to judge, but that
It's
is
a
a
weird
proper cool. Yeah,
selection.
that's a strange one.
I always say mine changes. Like I like some of the NWO stuff. If I,
Oh yeah,
the game, Triple H, obviously. But I like the King of Kings remix. It said like "Behold the King of
yeah,
Kings,"
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then goes into the game. That's the one. But even like My Time from Triple H was a banger.
Yeah, he. Oh, do you know what? I need an honourable mention, which is I need a couple of one. Randy Orton's had a great
Yep,
side of it as well.
yep,
Burning Light, or whatever it's called,
yep.
that
Burning My
one,
Light. Yep.
and obviously Evolution. What that's
Ah, now
incredible.
that is the one.
That
Evolution's the one. Do you know? I always picture like going out to a club, hiring a limo, just have that
yeah,
playing,
yeah,
roll
yeah,
up.
yeah.
You know what
It needs to
I
be
mean?
said. I can't not have them said because they are absolute bangers.
I loved it. Evolution was probably my favorite track at the as a
Yeah.
faction at the time. That was yeah, a couple of incredible songs there. Kane's loved that. So yeah, I agree. To be honest, a lot of them. I think if we done a top 10 themes, I can't even remember whose mine was, but they're all there. All those were. I'm pretty sure all those were in that one. But here's the final question on the wrestling front. Yeah, cool. Let's just say, for example, Ignite. CJ calls you, Tom. We're going to put you in a fatal four way at the next show. You can have anybody you want. Doesn't matter who it is. Who's your three opponents?
Ooh. Give me John Cena. No, I'm joking. I
Yeah, no,
might.
that's fine. Yeah, you can
No,
have him.
I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah.
No, no. I might. I'm going to stick it to Brit Rest for now. I think.
Okay.
Um, and I've worked one of them before, but I could not put Mark True in this match.
Fucking. Okay.
Mark True is honestly, it's one of my favorites.
As of recording, he's killing it in Noah. They've just pinned the tag champions over there in
How
Noah
do
in the
you know what I
latest.
mean? Like, and I've had the blessing of being around him a lot. Like
WrestleForce, right?
when I come up through WrestleForce, and he's taught me a lot. Even though he's not a big guy himself, he
No.
knows how to be one, and he's really helped me with that. I've got a squeak. Yeah, he's got to be in my fatal four because I just love working with him. He
That's
makes me like a monster. Everything he does. Um, And the other two, I'm gonna say probably just so easy, but give me Michael Oku, give me Connor Mills in that. Um, Two guys I haven't worked, but they are absolutely killing it on the British independent scene and beyond.
Mm,
Um,
beyond, yeah.
yeah, put me in a four-way with them, I'll cry. That'd be incredible.
That'd be interesting to see you cry.
Well, no, because I'll get beaten up more than anything. I just know
It's
I'm going to get.
interesting you just mentioned that about people killing it in Brit Rest and abroad. Oku and Mills, a couple of them, and then you look at the likes of Zack Sabre Jr. and like Driller Mahoney, who are guys that are actually killing it in Japan and want to make a career in Japan. Now, lots of wrestlers will always say, yeah, WWE or AEW, TNA, and there is variety, and that's a great thing that there is a promotion out there, I think, for everybody now. It's not just down to one. Why do you think it is now, though, that some of these Brit Rest guys, not even just Brit Rest, Americans in general, would want to carve out a career in Japan more than anywhere else?
I think it's more Japan are now looking for our guys
Yeah,
more than our guys looking for Japan. Like I'm
yeah,
not saying what I'm saying is I think I would love to work in Japan. I would love to wrestle in Japan, but as a kid or when you
yeah,
start, you're like, oh, WWE's the goal.
yeah,
Oh, because that's why we're here. We
yeah,
love wrestling, and when you grow up watching wrestling, that's where you grow up. That's where you want to be. But I think because of people like Osprey and people like Zach who are British and have absolutely killed it
yeah,
in Japan and just become mega stars, superstars because of it. I think it opens doors up for or opportunities for other guys to think, you know what, if well, why can't I do that? Why can't
yeah,
I go out there and become a star there as well? And I think the Japanese companies are seeing that, especially that as we just said, we've got Noah taking on Mark True and Kieran Lacey, bringing them in for the tag league. You get Maloney that's gone over to New Japan. He's
yeah.
been incredible. Yeah, and I think it's just why would you not want to go out there? Why would you not want to go out there and wrestle in Japan? They're such a great fan base. They have such great talent, and that's the company, and the arenas you can be in and the stuff you can do out there. Why
Yeah,
not?
it is incredible, and yes, Mark Truenack did indeed pin those tag team champions over in Noah. He's got my belt over there at time of recording, of course. And he will still have my championship when this actually eventually airs. He will be he either will be defending it against a Luna in May, or he'll be stripped of that championship come what may. So choice is his. We've played into his hands now. He was worried. He was moaning that, oh, I got four ways, I got tag matches. You got a one-on-one now, True. You got what you want. You got what you wished.
It's like
Come back
it's
and
like
do it.
work.
Come back. Like work for a Luna, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
I didn't just say that. Thomas, we go to wrap up. Look, what's the if you could say like aspirations, say for 2025, and then maybe not necessarily what the end goal is, but what would it be for you?
Just to have a healthy wrestling career with no, that's it. Just give as much as I can. No stress, no pressures. Just sort of wrestle for me and wrestle for the people that want to see me. That's it. I don't have any like specific goals. Obviously,
Mhm.
I would love to go anywhere to wrestle,
Yeah.
but for 25 specifically, it's just maybe an abroad booking. I haven't been abroad. If I can get abroad this year, would be lovely. Just to have that experience, international booking or something like that. But yeah, long term goal is just to have a healthy wrestling career, hopefully, and show people what I can do.
I think you'll manage that. I think that's easily enough to be done for you. I think that's something you will definitely have. But if obviously you are available for bookings, where can promoters reach out and book you if they would like to have you on their show?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at Tall Tom Pro. That handle will stay, even though Tall Tom himself may be disappearing soon, but I will keep the handle. Yeah, so you can reach out to me there. DMs are open, no problem at all.
Well, go and do that. Just get time because believe me, he's more than just a big guy. That's
Thanks,
simple.
mate.
That is definitely so. Coming up on this channel very soon, RVD will be joining us. Scott Steiner will be joining us. Gangrel will be joining us. I can't tell you the name of someone that's joining us in a few months' time because he's technically still under contract. Well, no, he's not under contract, but he's under a 90-day release
I
clause
see.
currently. But someone will be
Mm.
joining us from the WWE who's just been released in 90 days'
Little
time.
teaser there, little teaser.
You might get the rest of it in a minute when we're finished. But until then, anyway, Tom, thanks for joining us on Independent Showcase. Guys, go and check Tom out wherever he is. He's definitely, put it this way, he will surprise you. That's all I will say for that. Guys, just catch us HTT Buckle on X, HTT Buckle on YouTube, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, everybody, he has been Tall Tom, Tom Mercer, Tom Merson, whoever you want to say.
All the above.
All of the above. I've been Adam Cousins, and you've been watching the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.